He says, Kalla, innal insana la yatgha. This is the message. He says, but this ignorant clot of blood that thinks he is significant, now that he or she has reached somebody in the world, this human being, Kalla. But, nay, see what Allah is saying? All of these came down. Kalla, it's a terminology in Arabic, but it's like a father telling a child, well, my son, remember, I gave you a house, I gave you a car, I gave you a bank account, I gave you a job, I sent you to school, I gave you a degree, I gave you everything, my son, and today you claim to be somebody. Kalla. He says, but now you transgress all bounds because you're an ungrateful human being. Innal insana li rabbihi lakanud. Certainly human beings are ungrateful to their Lord. So Allah is telling us, Mr. Human Being, with all of this that I did to you, Mr. Clot of blood, drop of sperm. If someone calls you, hey, Mr. Sperm, would you like it? None of us would really like that, eh? Have you seen anybody call themselves Mr. Sperm? They have all the craziest name in the world, but they really don't call themselves that. So Allah is telling us where we came from. And He's saying, but yet you human beings, innal insana la yatgha. Yet you human beings, you break the laws of Allah. You transgress the bounds of Allah. Allah says, don't do that, and we do it. Allah says, this is haram, and we do it. And I don't need to say what are the many things. Allah has blessed us with Iqra, to read. Allah has blessed us with Qalam, ability to write. Allah has given us knowledge. So we are smart enough to know when we break the laws of Allah. A human being has been designed in such a sophisticated, blessed way that when we are doing something wrong, there is something at the bottom of our heart that keeps on poking us. And we know we're guilty. We know we're guilty. But the arrogance of who I am, my wealth, my power, my degree, my position, I am bigger than that. So you tell that little thing inside, if you keep quiet. I know I'm wrong, but nobody will catch me out. Nobody will realize I'm a crook. Nobody will realize I'm a con man. I'm smarter than that. So much clear? Listen. Kalla innal insana la yatgha. Allah says, but certainly human beings transgress all bounds. And He says, Ar-ra'ahu staghna. And why does this human being transgress the bounds of Allah? Why do you think human beings do that? Listen, please don't hate Shaikh Shafayat for that. Eh? Go take it out from the Quran if you don't like this. Don't hate me for that. I know some people think I probably sound miserable, I sound radical, but this is the Quran. Allah is saying the reason why this human being thinks that he could transgress the bounds of Allah, not pay his zakat, not pray his salah, not fast, not do his hajj, rob people, steal, do people all different things because he thinks that he is smart, this piece of clot of blood. And we'll call him this piece of clot of blood right now. Because this is what Allah says. No, don't go and say, I say that. People make those comments and say, Shaykh, call us a clot of blood. But it's Allah who's saying, Khalaqal insana min alaq. I created you from a clot of blood. So much gay, bhai? So okay. So Mr. Clot of blood, now you become somebody and you are not doing what Allah says, and you are intelligent enough to know that you're not doing what Allah says. Allah says, why are you doing that? And why does this human being do that? Because of that feelings of being self-sufficient. He thinks, I got it all. I have power. I have money. I have education. I have a degree. I have successful businesses. I got a big house in these rich communities here. I don't want to call names because you guys might feel offended. Allah is saying that, not me. So you don't have to stop coming to Darul Uloom if the Quran says that. Allah says that Ar-ra'ahu staghna. It is because of the person thinking that he or she is sufficient. I got everything. I don't care about anybody. Nobody buy my groceries. You know that's a saying here in America. Nobody buys my groceries. So I don't care to hell about anybody. An American slang that we develop when we come to the United States of America. Because he or she thinks, I know it all. I got it all. I have it all. Allah says, that's why we break the laws of Allah and we transgress all bounds. And then he continues. The 8th verse of this surah, chapter 96, surah Al-Alaq. He says, Inna ila rabbika ruj'a. Do you know? Don't you realize, Mr. Human Being, that you have to face Allah on the day of judgment? Don't you realize that? Allah is saying that, don't you know that towards your Lord you will have to return? What is Allah telling us about that? We're going to face a day of judgment. Then Allah will pick it up and say, you remember you robbed that person? Remember you murdered that person? Remember you conned that person? Remember you treated that orphan bad? Remember you did this? Remember you did that? And that's when we will have to pay the consequences if we do not pay it here.